Southern California cities have managed to preserve quite a few historic homes over the decades. And in tonight's Look at This, our Desmond Shaw is over one of the oldest in LA County, the site of a very important event.
Well, take a look at this small park. This is Catalina Verdugo Adobe, and inside the tiny park in suburban Glendale lies a very important part of history for LA County, California, and the United States. This nearly 200-year-old home obscured by trees and bucolic greenery was built on the Rancho San Rafael, a 36,000-plus acre land grant given to Spanish soldier Jose Maria Verdugo in the late 1700s. The name Verdugo, of course, now attached to streets, mountains, schools, other landmarks in this section of LA County. The sprawling ranch encompassed present-day Glendale, Burbank, La Cañada, Flint Ridge, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, and western Pasadena. And Verdugo was a very successful rancher. When he passed away, he had no debts and left the land to his daughter Catalina and son Julio. The adobe is believed to have been built around 1828 by Verdugo's grandson Teodoro. Catalina lived here with Teodoro after her father's death and up until her passing. Now, right next to this historic home, you'll find a plaque for a tree that was known as the Oak of Peace, which has been referred to as the birthplace of California. In 1847, generals on both sides of the Mexican-American War met underneath the huge tree, the largest landmark on the ranch, and agreed upon surrender terms of California to the United States. The Treaty of Cahuenga was signed 2 days later at Campo de Cahuenga, ending the war in California, but the entire war was not settled for another year. Sadly, the tree died in the 1980s, but according to Crescenta Valley Weekly, a new Oak of Peace was planted recently and dedicated in October of 2023. As for the Verdugos, unfortunately, Catalina and Julio agreed to a usurious loan against their land and lost the vast majority of their ranch to bankruptcy in 1871. Catalina died that same year. Part of the ranch was sold to David Burbank, which is where that namesake city comes from. Other people formed communities that we know today, like Highland Park and Eagle Rock. The land the adobe sat on would have several other owners into the 20th century and could have easily been torn down, but its historic significance was recognized, and Glendale bought the adobe and a small parcel of land to turn it into a park in 1989. And while this is now a public park, the adobe itself can only be explored by making an appointment with the city. It can also be reserved for weddings and other special events. One of the oldest structures in Southern California that was the site of a particularly important part of local and national history. Thanks to Shirley McIntyre for telling me to check out the Catalina Verdugo Adobe. Taking a look at this from SkyCal, I'm Desmond Shaw.
And if you'd like Desmond to take a look at something interesting in your neighborhood, go ahead and write us at lookatthis@cbs.com.